name is Ruth Lewo. I am a fisheries and aquaculture resource manager. I have been in the ecosystem in the space for fisheries and aquaculture for more than 15 years now, having worked in under various initiatives to develop either aquaculture for both land-based aquaculture and cage aquaculture, and I've also been in the space for fisheries development, especially working with the smallholder fishers in various ecosystems in Kenya. We've seen very interesting developments where cage farming is concerned, especially in Lake Victoria in Kenya. Cage farming started more than 20 years ago with trials being done by the research arm, and about the last decade we had a lot of entrants, especially with the private sector, injecting a lot of resources where cage farming is concerned. And over the last 10 or so years, we've seen now the local communities coming in as sector players, investing on their own, and venturing into the aquaculture space by putting cages in the lake for fisheries development. So for us to say that we are producing sustainably, or the aquaculture value chain is operating at a sustainable level, all the sector players, the producers, the input suppliers, the supportive legislation where policies and frameworks are involved, the finance arm, the marketers and the consumers equally play a role in it. So when we say about sustainability, it should be a value chain whereby we're able to do it in a manner that we do not deplete the existing ecosystem, and we do it in a manner that it can go on for a longer period of time without depleting the ecosystem that it operates in. For farmers to really move from subsistence, I would say that cage aquaculture farming is a capital-intensive venture. Let's start there. So most of the subsistence farmers lack the initial capital to really go into. A good opportunity would be for them to come together either as a union or a cooperative or as a group, formalize themselves, then they're able to get to harness some of these opportunities that are there. Looking at the finance sector, it is easier for them to get resources or support from the financial institutions to cover the heavy investments that are needed. Looking at acquisition of input materials such as the cages themselves are quite costly. The cost of feed, which contributes to about 65 to 70% operation charges, is quite costly. So if they're able to come together as a group, they'll be able to, harness and bring together pull their resources into one basket and be able to, operate and venture successfully. So that is the one big gap that is there, and it's a plea we are making to the smallholder farmers to consider coming together as a group to operate successfully. One thing I appreciate with cage aquaculture farming is that it brings everyone on board. It brings the women when it comes to the processing. It brings the youths who are largely the unemployed force in the country right now. So when it comes to business development, we can look at opportunities, and we create avenues for the youth to come up with packages for them, such as the mobile apps, whereby they can come up with mobile-based applications where marketing is concerned, alerting the consumers that the fish products are available. We can also look at business opportunities, especially for the young women when it comes to processing, value addition, making of fillets, other products from fish that can, they're not so dirty, they don't get their hands so dirty, and it's also appealing to them because it's not so labor intensive. So when it comes to business development initiatives, I would urge all the sector players to think in those lines, opportunities that will bring the youths and the young women so that they can equally play in the value chain.